I think there is a little bit more to trousers than one would expect. Plus, I need to mention my eBay shop. I have found the trimmings we need and sort of centralized or encyclopedia'd them, and found mostly the best price. I have mostly listed from my eBay shop, Mac & Wallace, McCulloch & Wallace, Kenton Trimmings, and the Lining Company. And I don't think I have anything from William Gee today. Firstly though, with regard to fabric, we need a bit more than 1 meter for a pair of trousers. Definitely no more than 2 though, for a normal size pair anyway. Fabric should be like normal suiting fabric, but we can use Chino fabrics and various others, I'm sure. Well, I know. The first thing we need is Banrol canvas. It's 38mm wide, this one, and I think it's heavy crin canvas with a sort of bias tape on the side. This gives the waistband a certain heft that you don't usually get in mass-produced trousers, which have fused waistbands. When your waistband measurement is 82, half that plus 16 is usually more than half a meter. So, what was the point I was going to make here? So, buy more than 1 meter if your waist measurement is more than 68. I bought and might recommend the 50-meter reel from Kenton Trimmings for the sake of economy in a sense of money and wastage. But you can sew together scraps and reduce the waste, or support my store and buy a more practical amount. I'll link the video where I sew 2 pieces of Banrol canvas together in the description. We need zips, curved trouser zips specifically. We can make do with straight zips, but I'll leave that to you. Tailors usually have a one-size-fits-all approach to zips, where they are 9 to 12-ish inches measured between the teeth in a few colours. A zip would be cut and hidden inside of the waistband. Well, I can't quite see that here, but it goes up into the waistband. So having a standard extra long zip saves the need to get a special zip for any human giants. You'll mostly find YKK and Opti curved zips. They're the only curved zips that I know of. Opti is the lesser option though, and YKK has recently discontinued curved zips in their Japanese factory, so now they're coming from Italy or something. I don't exactly know all the details. Zips are curved to follow the line of the trouser on the front. You can see it curves there. Sold as trouser zips because of that. A straight zip can be used, but if the front trouser curve is quite severe, a straight zip might pull at the cloth because it is very heavy with the metal teeth. It's not exactly an artist's rendering, but maybe an artisan's rendering. I asked a very experienced trouser maker with input on this topic. So imagine the red line is a straight zip. If it weren't curved, it is pulling the cloth back to where the blue arrows are. So that is the importance of curved zips. Like I said, 23 centimeters and longer zips are best, but they are also the most expensive. So when you're making samples, a shorter 8-inch zip will suffice. There is the traditional 2-piece catch-on, which most, if not all, tailors use in every pair of trousers. The 2-piece needs to be sewn down into the trouser and you need an all or similar in order to get them into the trouser. There are 3-piece hook and bars, which can be easier because they just have prongs which are just then bent into position. There are also 4-piece catch-ons, but my methods aren't as conducive to that hardware. It's doable, but you'll need to know what you're doing. And instead of breaking down the maths this time, I'll just send you to my small eBay shop where you can buy the correct catch-ons if you're looking for more, unless you're looking for more colors, which I think is just kind of unnecessary. We only need one button, like a 14mm or 22 line button for the inside on the bearer. This sole button isn't seen, but you may have DACs or suspenders, or you might have a hole and button back pocket closure, but otherwise it's usually just inside of the waistband. I won't really send you anywhere for buttons. Related, I didn't realize Mac and Wallace had such a nice and broad selection of buttons. That said, Ken Trimmings does do just brace buttons really cheaply, so. Side tab adjusters or side adjusters or side tabs is the most common type of stay for bespoke trousers over belt loops. It's very easy to tell whether a trouser is a cut above the rest just if it has belt loops. No, if it has side tabs. If you want belt loops, you can avoid spending the extra cash on a pair of buckles, but the use of side tabs does scream quality and bespoke. For side tabs, or whatever you want to call them, we want 2 18mm buckles for now. I'll link off my eBay shop and the lining company. I know the lining company ones says waistcoats, doesn't matter, really either can be used, and either can be used for waistcoats as well. Silecia is basically what we need for the pocketing of our trousers and a few other things. It's a tightly woven cotton cloth. The Dove Silecia from Kenton, I think, is the traditional colour for pocketing, while makers would often use another Silecia for the rest of the trouser, the waistband lining, etc. For Silecia, I suggest 1 metre, although we only really need 3/4 of a metre for each pair of trousers. It's obviously going to get more economical as you buy more and more continuous lengths. I really like my regular one from the lining company. I've got it in, well, all of these trousers. I'm using it for the pocketing in all of them and waistbanding, etc. But from the lining company, it's £22.38 for the first metre, and like I say, the French Navy is my go-to. They also have a lightweight one, I imagine for summer wear. William Gee has 4 colour options, £10.20 or £13.99 on your first metre, depending on postage. Holland linen is used for reinforcing things to prevent them from stretching and giving them structure. It can be called, well, it's usually referred to just as linen, but Holland linen is its technical name, or its full name. From Kenton, we can get 1 metre from £15.38 plus about £3 for postage, or 1/4 of a metre for £4 plus P&P, which is 1/4 is about all we'd need. Yeah, like absolute maximum we'd need probably. In proper true bespoke tailoring, there is little to no fusing used. You and I are using fusing to reinforce fabric where it might fray or would otherwise be relatively weak, like the corners of pockets. You could buy a small sheet and it would probably last for a few dozen suits. For trousers, we are almost literally using a few 3x3 centimeter, well, 3x3 centimeter squares, except for some very specific uses sometimes. I think that the best place is the lining company, probably about a lifetime supply for about £6.75 plus tax and postage. Depending on the exact design of your trousers, you may need more or less lining. I am half lining my trousers, but you may also want the curtain and the waistband to be lining as well. We can get by without lining at all. It's much easier this way, but you definitely need Silecia. A basic amount to buy is ½ meter. I largely get my lining from Mac and Wallace. I personally like the Cupro Brem silk, which I think is really good for quality and price. But I think any Hermesine lining is also a good choice. I also like the various printed linings from the lining company, but those are expensive as heck. I mostly suggest you source your own lining. Try to avoid anything that's too polyester, because we want to apply a lot of heat to it, or we will be applying a lot of heat to it. There are two options for finishing silk, finishing thread, or three. The third is using our normal machine thread. Mac & Wallace or William Guy. Either a 10 meter reel of Italian silk for £2.60 plus P&P, or a box of 10 for £15.12 plus postage and packaging in a wide variety of colours. Or a significant supply of proper Gutermann hand finishing silk in either black or white. All pre-waxed and basically ready to use. Just give the threads a quick iron first. 750-ish meters for $29.99 or $33.78 depending on postage. The lining company also sells the same Gutermann hand silk, but more expensively, but in a very wide variety of colours, which I imagine it's only worth for big tailor shops. The lining company also sells the same Italian silk thread or buttonhole twist in a wider variety of colours, but more expensively. However, you could use the lining company as a colour reference for Mac & Wallace, since on their website, on the lining company, it's more clear than Mac & Wallace's website. These are all the materials and trimmings that you need in order to make a pair of trousers, or at the very least a pair of trousers that I'm going to make. However, I suggest maybe you watch through all 7 videos first and then before you go shopping. Cheers.